So this is just a little. I always get this question. What about the models that have a manual safety? So there's this thing called sympathetic movement with certain models of P320. And I know three P320s in a trench coat. They showed a video of how to reduce sear movement by literally cutting off the rear leg of the sear on your P320, which is wild to me that, just take your P320 apart and Dremel it to fix a problem is a little wild. But
No
I did
longer.
I did want to show this section of the video. So it's going to be, where is it? Somewhere right up here. So basically, he has the safety model of a P320. I think it's an X5 of some sort. And even with the safeties in the on position, if he fiddles with the trigger, he can get the striker safety to disengage.
But if you'll pay close attention, the amount of tolerance there is between the safety and the trigger bar, you might be able to see if I can hold this steady enough. That, just to the right of the sear, the trigger safety disconnector moves a little bit even with the safety on. See that?
Wow.
So it lifts up with the safety on. Fiddling with the trigger defeats your striker safety. Congratulations. So
it's
now
more of a
you have
suggestion,
it is safety suggested. True. Now again, keep in mind that that's a totally different problem than the striker safety being damaged or the spring being damaged. That's completely separate. So that's another area where you can get your P320 to magically go off. Now here is specifically the three P320s in a trench coat video where they show sympathetic movement short. So we'll look at this before we get into the main course.
I thought this was a red herring. Turns out this is a place where we actually can start talking about stacking tolerances. All right, this is a 4510 mil takedown safety lever inserted into or misconfigured into what is otherwise a 9 mil FCU, 9 mil configured pistol, grip frame, everything. This is to experiment with what LFD research has finally actually proven can cause some striker slippage. And basically this takedown safety lever will not move forward unless I pop this slide catch lever. It can, however, still move forward just enough because it is different. This central stud is different on this new takedown safety lever than it is on my old takedown safety lever from 5 years ago. This takedown safety lever is allowed to move forward just enough that the sear rises back up into the path of the striker. Now, on LFD Research's FCU, this sear striker contact was so light that he could shake it off and it would release the striker. My pistol will not do that. I have shaken it, I have twisted it, I have hit it. It will not release the striker, even in this misconfiguration that has been proven on other pistols.
So I do want to be clear as well with LFD research, because I still talk to Matt over there a little bit, and they're doing a entirely deep dive on each specific parts change over the different models. So they have, I think, 6 or 7 different years now of pistols, and they're trying to do a breakdown of all of the different parts changes
to release the striker. But one of the key points that they made was to check your striker safety lock to make sure that it's functional, because that is the last line of defense if your sear drops off. Remember what all of my research has been focused on: what can cause sympathetic activation of the safety lever and therefore deactivation of the striker safety lock when you don't want it to be deactivated. Well, sear movement can do that in certain cases. I also demonstrated some mitigating factors, right? Well, My FCU normally demonstrates one of those mitigating factors, except in this misconfiguration, no, it
So you see what this is basically doing is that without the trigger being pulled, if the sear drops, it is lifting up, which it looks strange if you don't know what you're looking at, but the striker or the safety plunger in the FCU lifts up to push up on the striker safety. So as he's pushing on the sear, at the exact same time, there is sympathetic movement in the safety plunger, which then deactivates the striker safety, which should not be happening at the same time, right? And so this is another internal issue in this specific configuration. The problem is that there are quite literally 3.5 million different configurations that your pistol might be in.
doesn't.
You know that
A misconfigured
the
FCU
number-
like
I was going to say the number is not zero of guys that will see this. Let's just guess and say, how many average viewers do you get on a live stream? Focus like 10,000?
Live viewers or
Just total.
10,000, 8 to 10,000 on an average stream.
So let's say 500 dudes see this that carry it at work or are carrying it right now, you know, in the guard shack, whatever, right? A lot of dudes see these videos and that scope just expands, right? And then they're going to go tell somebody. So I think that's the only issue, right? Is guys are going to see this and now they have no confidence. That's the only smart thing GBRS has ever put out on their channel was when you say things on your channel, it does have an impact, right? So if you say, oh, all SIGs suck, a dude, some private, some cop, whoever, it now is going to look at that gun different and think, I have no even though mine hasn't failed, I have no confidence in it. I think that's the biggest issue that I have with SIG right now is like, dude, can you all just do something? Even if it's a facade, hey, put in this other whatever, you know, component for the FCU, do something, right? Because so many dudes are carrying the gun right now and like, this thing is a bomb according to Protravan, Trench, Focus, whoever, right? And
hey, I never said it was a bomb. It's possibly
allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's just a pistol that might explode.
As most pistol. No,
Do not come. Do not come.
The only pistol that I support the Israeli carry for.
Yeah, that's right. According
The
to
Ron
SIG, that's
Cohen
been
carry?
Ooh, the Cohen carry model. That's good.
Oh boy.